Hello and welcome back to Grim Survival. I am going to be doing a cooking with Grim video. I had seen TJ Preps do a off-grid cooking challenge the other day, and I figured that might be fun. I apologize in advance for the wind noise, the traffic noise, and every other noise that you're going to hear in this video. I'm trying to keep the wind away from the microphone, so I'm standing like this. But hey, I'm going to show you how I do a little bit of off-grid cooking, the tools I use, how I get a fire started the easy way. And yeah, I'm going to be cooking up some grilled chicken, some potatoes, and a can of green beans. So yeah, that's going to be my dinner for the day. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy. If the wind noise is too much, I'll just dub over it. So hey, yeah, wish me luck because this is going to be a learning experience for us both. Trust me, I'm not a cook. All right, what you're looking here are the things I'm going to be using for cooking. Obviously, I've split down some logs there. I have a lot of kindling going on. That is a bag of hickory. Uh, It's just wood. It's just hickory wood that's made for smoking meat and things like that. I like to use it to flavor my meat a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to be using that also. So stay tuned for how I get all this set up and where I'm cooking it at. This is a charcoal grill. Just a standard everyday charcoal grill that you can buy at pretty much any store that sells grills. Yeah, so Walmart included. And this is obviously just wood. I have, like I showed you, I found, just grabbed some kindling from the local area, and I am just breaking it down and making a nice stack in there. Yes, I am going to build a wood fire in a charcoal grill. Trust me, I've done this before. It works. It works very well, actually. So, that being said, off-grid situation. So how am I going to start the fire? This is fat wood. I've showed you this before in other videos. I'm not going to bother with the ferro rod today just because I don't need to. I have other means of starting fires, which consist of big lighters. So, fat wood works like this. If it wasn't so windy, it would be a lot easier. So yeah, there's a lot of wind. So I'll do it down in here. Try to block some of the wind. Wind keeps putting out my fire. Maybe I should just go get the ferro rod. There we go. It's burning, as you see. You touch a flame to it, and it burns really well. That being said, I'm going to stick it down in there. Not sure if I'll need any more of the fat wood. I might use some anyway. How I process this down smaller is I just baton it. I don't know if I can do this in the grill. I'll try. I don't want to knock the grill over and break the legs. Yeah, I'm not doing that in the grill. So anyway, you just baton this down to smaller pieces and hope the wind doesn't put out your flame. So I'm going to go over here to a more solid surface and make a smaller piece. Because obviously, more would work better in keeping the flame lit, because I do believe the wind blew it out again. So I'm going to use a couple of pieces of this. Again with the lighter, if I can remember where I put it. Ah, there it is. So yeah, the wind is not cooperating with me today. These are small flames on these things, so it's basically like having a match lit. Similar concept, similar thing. In case you don't know, fat wood is pine resin soaked wood. Pine resin is extremely flammable. So again, I'll put one down in there. The other one went out again. Thank you, wind. You're very, very, very not helpful today, wind. You'll be helpful once the fire gets going. Wind is a good thing when you're cooking or starting a fire inside of a container, because once the coals get going, the wind will make sure it keeps a nice flame. It'll be sure to create lots of embers, and yeah, that's a lot of wind. So now I have a lot of small kindling stacked on the bottom of this pile. I have a lot of larger stuff on top of it. I didn't do anything special other than I did split some of these larger pieces. Now, yeah, I am starting the fire mostly right in the middle of this. I will spread out the coals once I get more. I have larger pieces of wood that I will continually add as I go, just so I make sure I had a nice bed of embers in it. So, yeah. So I'll come back to you when I have more embers in there, because this will be a minute. All right. As you can see, we're still burning. We got to get it down to embers still, and I am going to prep one of the things I'm cooking. I'm going to parboil the potatoes. I'm going to use this little camp thing I had acquired because I'm not cooking that much. I'm cooking mostly for myself here because kids and such won't eat certain things because they're kids. Yeah, this is a little camp kit I had picked up from Walmart, and I have not used it as of yet. Sorry for the racket. So I'm going to try to use it now. Like I said, I'm going to parboil some potatoes, so I need water. And I figure while there's still a lot of flame, it would be pretty good for boiling. So let's find the potatoes. What I have here is organic Kroger brand red potatoes. And I am just going to add a few of them in here for myself. Like I said, I'm the only one eating. So yeah, there's a little bit of sprouts on a few of these. Won't kill you. Looks like a lot of them. Just knock them off anyway. The goal is to get the water over top of the potato. And I probably do about 6 of these things. I'll have to add a little more water just because there's a little one. It doesn't look like it's quite over the top of all of them. Although the more potatoes I add, the higher the water level goes. So probably, maybe I won't have to add any more. So yeah, I didn't wash the potatoes or anything like that. I just brought them out and threw them in the pan. I don't eat much, so probably put one more in there. That one's a little too sprouted. I'm just knocking off a couple of the little growey spots that are on the bottom. I'll dice them all up before I eat them, make sure they're good. So, potatoes, add some salt, because that's what you do. From what I'm told, figure out where you put the lid, and then try not to burn yourself, and get that on a boil. Parboiling potatoes softens them up so they're easier to fry, which I will be doing a little bit later. And hopefully that little plastic handle on that lid doesn't melt. So I'm not sure that pot's supposed to be in that kind of a heat, but you know, I've never used it before, so it's a good test. I bought that thing at Walmart for $5 like several months ago. Potatoes need to boil for 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the size. I'll do about 7 minutes there, so yeah. Won't take too much longer, obviously, to get the potatoes boiling. Once the potatoes start boiling, I should have enough coals in there to go ahead and throw on the chicken and add some more wood for some smoke flavor and things like that. I don't think I'm going to need too much wood. I'm only grilling a couple pieces of chicken here, so yeah, it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But this is how you start a fire and boil some water off grid in your grill. So, hey, it works. And I'll get back to you once that water gets going and move it out of the way here. Sounds like my water is boiling. I'm going to check it really quickly, and then I'm going to add some more wood to this thing. I do have to go find some tongs because that's going to be needed. Yeah, we're boiling pretty good. I'm going to move it off of the heat so I can add more wood, like I said. Now, how am I doing this? These are leather insulated gloves. So they're leather lined, some cheap ones that you can get at any hardware store. They will take quite a bit of heat for several minutes. So don't be grabbing wood or hot metal with your bare hands. That would be bad. Yeah, this is going to take a while to burn down again because I'm adding some thicker pieces of wood to it. And the wind has died down, so it's not fanning my fire for me. But hey, we'll get this done anyway. I do need quite a bit more wood on here, more coals. Not nearly enough. I'll process down some of these smaller sticks. This is definitely hardwood. Couldn't tell you what kind of wood this is, but that is, I want to say it's pine. It's season's pine, but I don't think it actually is. So don't quote me on that. But this stuff is definitely hardwood. But I'm having trouble breaking it. And yeah, all that will flame back up rather easily, rather quickly. There's some smaller, softer wood I'll throw right on the coals. Try to get some extra flame going pretty quick. I'm not worried about the potatoes getting cool because I am going to fry them after I parboil them. So it's not a concern of mine to boil them early and then leave them sitting out for a little while. And I'm building basically a log cabin style fire inside of this thing because the coals will burn down fairly evenly right in the middle. And in case you are concerned or wondering about if the grill can actually take the heat, there's a stainless steel plate in the bottom of this particular model. That's why I'm not worried about it. I will warn you that the paint on your grill will probably melt off if you do such things with it. I got the wood stacked too high, so the grill's not going all the way down, but that's okay. It'll get there, and I'll get the potatoes back to boiling. Those will boil for a few more minutes. I'll let the fire burn down more. Once I have enough hot coals, I will show you what I'm doing next. So stay tuned. I do want to note real quick that it does say to reduce the heat once you get to a boil so it doesn't overboil. We'll remove the lid, which lid is removed. But that's as close as I can get to reducing heat. I don't want the water boiling over onto my fire for sure, because that would definitely be a problem. Putting out my fire is not the most efficient way of cooking or pouring water on it at all. So I will rotate it a little, keep it over some of the heat, and just hope it boils enough. I do see one that has a little bit of a green spot on it, so I will probably be having to trim some of that off with my knife before I go ahead and fry them up. So, yep, I'll be back. So now I'm going to check the potatoes to see if they're soft. Oh yeah, they're definitely done. You can check them with a fork. You can check them like I just did. And what I'm going to do with them is I'm going to go ahead and take them off the heat, drain them, and let them stay in the pot until I'm ready to fry them up. And yeah, I'm going to drain them right here in the grass. Try not to burn myself doing so because the water is extremely hot. So I'm probably not going to get this on camera just because camera's on a tripod and I'm not moving it. Basically, I'm just making a gap in the lid, pouring out all the hot water, trying not to burn myself. These are insulated leather gloves, but I do not recommend holding very hot things for a very long time with them because that would be bad. Alright, it's still burning pretty good with some of the bigger chunks that are down in there, but I do have enough coals to get started with the rest. First thing I want to do is take one of these grill scraper wire things and just clean off some of the stuff that has been burning off this whole time. It's basically a lot of ash and soot at this point anyway. So, yeah, just make sure your surface is nice and clean. I can definitely feel the heat in my gloves. So this is my cooking utensil. These are a pair of tongs with like a flipper on them. And I'm going to use it to remove that just to save my gloves. And take one of my extra sticks and spread out some of the coals. I do still see some pretty good chunks of wood on some of the logs that I had broke down. It's okay. I will let that burn out a little more. And I'm going to throw some of these chunks of hickory around there just to give some flavor. These hickory chunks are for smoking wood, or smoking meat, I should say. So they are somewhat wet. They will burn, but they will also create quite a bit of smoke, and I like that smoke flavor to my meat. So yeah, that's what we're doing next. I'll get the grill top back on there and probably get some of the chicken on there here in just a second, and I'll get back to you in just a minute. All right, these are chicken breasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. They're pretty thick, and yeah, I'm touching them with my bare hands. My hands are clean enough, and I will be going to wash them right after I'm done with this. Or as they say over at Prepper Nation, wash them. My mother used to say that. I like that term. So yeah, I got chicken gunk all over my hands. I'm going to go ahead and let those cook and die down the flame a little bit, because I don't want a lot of flame on my chicken. I want a lot of smoke and a lot of heat, but not flame. So as you can see, this is just a standard grill, but it does have the metal plate in there, which makes it very efficient for cooking with fire. All right, going to wash the hands. I'm going to try to push this button. All right, what I'm doing next is I got a cast iron. Chicken is smoking very well. I'm going to preheat the cast iron, try to get it all the way in the grill so I can shut the lid. This is Italian organic olive oil. So I'm making a nice thin layer there on the cast iron. I'm going to spread that out a little bit if it hasn't done so already. Yeah. And yeah, I could have cleaned the cast iron a little better. I did cook eggs in it this morning. That's why it's stuck on the side a little bit, because I didn't clean it well enough, and I'm not doing it right now. So that's that. Okay, I will let I'm going to leave it open just because there's quite a bit of smoke and it is dying down my heat quite a bit. So I'll let some wind get to it, maybe get a little more flame back in there. Let the chicken cook a little more, heat up the oil, add the potatoes to the oil. And then, yeah, I have a can of green beans. I have a miniature can of green beans. This is a little bitty one. It's just fresh cut green beans. I'm going to add them and probably just add them to the pot that I was cooking the potatoes in after I transfer potatoes to that. And then, yeah, that'll probably be how that works. I got some garlic I need to add to that. I just remembered. Where did I put the garlic? And I'll probably end up heating the potatoes in the pan. And then when I'm almost done, I will transfer them to the cast iron so that I can have some garlic roasted green beans. Why not? So, yeah, I'm not using the best cooking utensils here, as you can see. And yeah, that was my pants that I wiped that off on. And I don't need a lot of garlic. I just like garlic, so I'm adding it. Garlic is very good for you. It has antibacterial properties in it, and it's very good for that kind of thing. So we'll see if we can close the lid on the mini cast iron there and let that oil heat up pretty good with the garlic in there. Die down some more of the flame. Get some more smoke, as you can see, because like I said, I like that smoky flavored grilled chicken. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Here in a minute, I will transfer the potatoes over. I'll smash them a little bit. And yeah, I might have to trim some of them, but we'll see. We will see. Now, I'm not deep frying potatoes, obviously. I'm just going to get a nice crisp on them with the oil. I'm going to make it crispy potatoes, crispy garlic potatoes as it happens to be for this particular experiment that I'm doing here. Yeah, the last time I cooked chicken, if you've seen that video, it took me a long time. This way is a lot better than the last time I did it. Guarantee you. All right, I'll get back to you in a couple. So that didn't take very long. My cast iron, obviously the garlic's sizzling in there. So I will attempt to add the potatoes without spilling anything. Like I said, I'm going to smash them because it was recommended by the cook of the family. So, yeah, I'm going to smash them. Oh, not like that. Okay, that one smashed a little too much. I will just throw them in there and smash them with the knife here in a minute. And obviously, I'm going to have to keep watching these potatoes to make sure I don't burn them. There is quite a bit of heat in there. And at this rate, they'll probably be done before the chicken, but that's okay. I'll make sure to keep them hot. I'm not the best at timing this kind of thing. Spilling oil in my fire is not good. And I'm not doing very good at smashing with this thing. So I have another idea. Yeah, that's not going to work either because it's just going to push the grill down. So I'm going to do it like so on the edge. There we go. Now we're smashing some potatoes. A little too smashed on that one. The smaller ones are softer than the larger ones just because it wasn't a uniform heat kind of cooking experience. When you're cooking on a grill, it never is. Or cooking over a fire in general, it never is. Uniform heat is halfway impossible. All right, so it doesn't look pretty, but it's going to taste good. I'm going to go ahead and de-stick the chicken. Give it a flip. I don't want my chicken to be burnt. Those are very thick chicken breasts, so I may, yeah, they're definitely not cooked all the way through, obviously. I may have to cut them in half. I may. We'll see. But for right now, I'm going to close this lid, die down some of that flame, and let the heat surround everything. And again, get everything nice and smoky. I'm going to have a very smoky cast iron after this. That'll be interesting next time I make eggs in it. Smell that hickory smoke coming out of there. It has, in my opinion, a very good smell to it. I've always liked hickory wood. I've always liked the flavor of hickory or mesquite. I actually like mesquite really well too. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of smoke. I am going to rotate some potatoes, make sure I don't burn them. They're basically cooked all the way through as it is with the boiling process. Like I said, I'm just trying to get a little bit of a crisp on there. I smashed some of them a little too much. That's okay. They'll cook anyway. It's not a problem. It all looks the same when it goes in your mouth anyway. Who cares, right? This is definitely not winning any Chef of the Year contests. It ain't meant to be pretty. It's just meant to taste good. And believe me, it will taste good. Garlic in there is starting to burn a little bit, but that's not a problem for me either. I am going to switch the cast iron with the chicken, try to get the chicken over more of the heat because the heat seems to have concentrated to one side of the grill. So I need more heat over that chicken so it cooks a little faster. It is taking a while. Like I said, they are very thick. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the lid open a little while just to... Okay, my grill is falling off there. All right, we got to fix that before I lose food. I don't want to lose food. There we go. Good enough. I'll move the chicken over. Like I said, most of the heat is right in that area. Yeah, that's what we needed. Thanks, Wind. I needed some ash on my food. That's awesome of you, Wind. Put the cast iron in there again. Yeah, I'll leave the lid open. Maybe I'll get some more flame in there. Make a little more coals out of it. A little flame charred chicken never hurt nobody. The wind will definitely help with the coals building back up. There is a lot of heat in there. It's just not even heat, so it's concentrated in various areas. I actually think I put the cast iron where most of the heat was at this particular moment, but that's okay too. I do need to just flip this chicken. I can still see it's raw in the middle. It's getting there, so potatoes will definitely be done before the chicken is. That's okay. I will get the potatoes out of there and add green beans to that same skillet. Just do it that way. I'm going to bypass the pot altogether because that's just too much effort, I guess. It's not needed at all, so yeah. And I do need to continually rotate the chicken, it looks like. They are just too thick for this kind of cooking. They do smell good. And yes, I do have barbecue sauce, but I'm not barbecuing the chicken. I will just use the barbecue sauce after the fact. It's a nice brown color on it, isn't it? I like it. That's the way I like my chicken. The great thing about cooking with cast iron is you can cook anywhere with cast iron. You could put that thing in an oven. You could put it over a grill, obviously, over a campfire. You can cook anywhere with cast iron. What I'm doing now is I'm going to make a few slits in this chicken so the heat gets more into the middle. Nobody told me to do it. I just think it's a good idea. That is very juicy chicken. It's definitely not quite done yet. But that's okay. We are getting there. Now there's chicken juice on the knife. This is an all-purpose knife, in case you haven't noticed. I use it for absolutely everything. I really do. I have been in a restaurant before trying to cut food, and their knife didn't work, and I'm like this. I'm like, all right. And I pull out my own knife and slice it. My knife is very sharp. I use a work sharp. In case you hadn't seen that video, it is online of how I sharpen my knife. Definitely a little more heat in a couple of areas, so I'm going to try to get the chicken over the more heat. I think my potatoes are just about ready to come off of there. That's a good sound. Yeah, they're just about ready. I'll give them a couple more minutes. They're still getting a little crispy, but that's okay, as I already said. This thing is very handy. I don't know where we got it from. I really don't, but it's very handy. Definitely handy for flipping burgers. That's what I think it's actually for. But hey, it can flip just about anything. All right, the potatoes are done. I still haven't flipped the chicken again. I will get to that soon. What I'm going to go ahead and do is transfer the potatoes back into the pot. That way I can put the pot here on the corner or back there somewhere out of the direct heat. Put the lid on it and keep the potatoes warm while I cook the rest of the stuff. I may need to add a little extra oil. I don't know. I've never actually cooked green beans in oil before, so it's an experiment to say the least. How the potatoes look. This one looks nice and crispy. The downside about this thing is, as you can see, it doesn't go all the way to the end, so it's kind of hard to grab small things. All right, potatoes have been transferred. Lid is on. Put it back there in the corner. I'm going to transfer some of that oil out into the dirt. Starting to feel the heat through this glove. Ow. Okay, so I have opened the green beans. Oil and water don't mix. Oil and green bean juice probably don't mix either. So that's a no. There is quite a bit of oil still in there. I'm going to add a little more garlic. And basically, fry some green beans. Assuming I can get the lid off of this thing. Now, where did I put that all-purpose knife? There we go. All-purpose knife, a little bit of garlic. I'll mix it around in there in a minute. I don't know if you can cook green beans in oil. I assume you can. I've never done it, but hey, whatever works, works. If it's edible, it's edible. And I don't see why they wouldn't be. They're already fully cooked. They were canned after all, so they're just needing to be heated up. And if you get a little bit of crisp on my green beans, I don't mind. I really don't mind at all. So, trying to mix some of that garlic in there. Deep frying or frying in oil of any sort in your cast iron is really good for your cast iron. It will absorb that heat. It will actually help to season it. Yeah, I was knocking some garlic off of there. I'm not really interested in garlic chicken breast. That's looking like it could be getting close to done. I will cut the thickest one in half. Yeah, that one's a little extra crispy. That's okay. Come here. It's running away from me. I'll cut the thickest one in half to make sure they're done, but I'm thinking they're pretty close to done. I'm not seeing any pink juices when I'm pressing on it or when I turned it, so we'll let them cook a little bit longer. I may come back out here and cook a hot dog if there's still enough heat left after I eat. Not to eat the hot dog, but to have it for later, because I can put grilled hot dogs in the fridge and they taste way better when they're reheated that way. So, yeah, food for thought. Don't waste your heat. If you're cooking things and you have the ability to refrigerate things, even in an off-grid situation, if you have a solar generator or refrigerator, or it's cold enough outside, you can cook multiple things. You can reheat it later. It'll reheat a lot faster. You won't have to go through as much to get the heat to it. You'll just have to, make a smaller fire, add a little bit of more wood to it, make a smaller fire, and yeah, it'll reheat your food a lot quicker than cooking it from raw chicken, obviously. Green beans would probably have cooked better if I had a lid for that thing. I don't. Well, I guess I do. I'm going to stir the green beans, add a little bit of salt to it, just because I like salt. Adds flavor to things. Potatoes look really good to me, at least. I like extra crispy potatoes. Oh, I left something over here. Keep having to walk back and forth from over there where I'm storing everything. I keep stirring the green beans. I don't want overly burnt green beans. I don't think that would be good. That chicken does seem to be done to me, which is a good thing. Let's see, I think the smaller one's actually the fattest of the bunch, but this one probably is the same thickness, so I'm going to cut this one in half just to make sure that it is cooked all the way through. I might just go ahead and cut them all in half to make sure they're cooked all the way through. What I'm doing with these is I'm actually only eating one today, and I'm going to freeze the others for another meal. Yeah, maybe it's not cooked all the way through. I don't know. The knife is... There we go. Oh, yeah. That's done. That's done, chicken. I'll leave it there just for a few more minutes. I feel like checking this one, too. Yeah, no red juices. They're definitely done. So I will start transferring everything off of the grill now. Go ahead and leave you here so I can take you through that process. My green beans are probably hot enough, too. Probably. Mix the garlic around in them. I know some people, or at least my mother, used to boil the green beans and then fry them afterwards in bacon. I'm not using bacon because I don't eat that anymore. But what I do have is a cookie sheet, and I'm just going to transfer everything to that. Go into the house, make a plate, and eat it. And yeah, I will show you what it looks like once I have it plated. Because that's what you do on those cooking shows that my wife constantly watches. You got to show the presentation of the plate after the fact, and I will have to cool this down. It's hot. Take it in, clean it off a little bit. And my potatoes are kind of sizzling over here. Cookie sheet's probably hot now because it's settled on the grill over the heat. I have to clean that now also. I have a lot of stuff I have to clean. But hey, that is a cooked meal. And I will show you when I get back in the house just what it looks like. But I have to, well, yeah, I'll come back out and clean this stuff up later. I'll take in the essential things. All right, guys, I'm back. I survived. I have taken a couple bites already because I had to pray over my food, and I'm not doing that on camera. But there it is. That's the meal. Yeah, I'm eating on a paper plate because I don't like doing dishes at all. I hate doing dishes. I got some barbecue sauce. Stubbs. Yeah, I like Stubbs. Stubbs is some good barbecue sauce, in my opinion. The ingredients are not too bad. There's not a lot of added junk to it, so I can actually understand all the ingredients, so that's why I use Stubbs. I believe it actually comes out of Texas. And yeah, potatoes came out really well. They're nice and garlicky. They're crispy. They taste good. They really do. Chicken came out good. It's fully cooked. I'm using the all-purpose knife and eating it at my computer because I'm going to watch, something on YouTube or something while I eat. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Remember, check out the Grim Survival giveaway. That video was posted on Friday afternoon. So, yeah, the Grim Survival video. Really? I said video. Anyway, video. Please check it out. Remember, you got to say I'm in to enter the video. Green beans. Oh, those are good. Garlicky. Anyway, I'm going to eat my dinner and shut up. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.